Thank you for having us tonight and giving us the opportunity to share with you the great work that's occurring at Park Road Elementary School this year. We've got a small group that's with me this evening to help present some of the things that we're working on, including Jill Pink, Karen Socker, Allison Kimmerer, Angie Stewart, and Tammy Hallahan. So tonight we want to highlight the CAP goals we are working on in 2017-18, and we categorize those into three areas. The first is instruction, particularly as it relates to our professional learning community work. Second is social emotional learning, and third, technology goals and 21st century learning and STEAM work. Building on the work of the past 2 years, we are continuing to work on refining our implementation of the professional learning community structure and cultures at Park Road. In particular, we are focusing on how we are monitoring student learning, not just in reading, but also in the area of math and our students' social and emotional needs. This year, we have reworked our student success meetings to allow us to focus on all three of those areas, discussing the needs across the grade level of all students in that particular grade level, including both those needing support and those needing enrichment, and working to have these meetings PLT-led and facilitated. Jill, a first grade teacher, and Karen, a second grade teacher, are going to share what this looks like for their respective teams as an example of the work that is occurring throughout our school.
Hello, I'm Jill Pink, first grade teacher at Park Road, and we've had student success meetings at Park Road for several years, but they've been primarily focused on our reading. And this year we have revamped these meetings so they're more focused on not only reading, but math and the social emotional needs of our students as well. We have our reading specialist, our counselor, our principal, and our instructional challenge teacher present at these meetings, and this allows us to discuss students who need additional support as well as enrichment. It also allows us to discuss students who might have some social needs. As a result, Kathy Healy, our school counselor, can put together 6 to 8 week groups focused on specific needs, which might be listening skills, self-regulation, or friendship building. We meet frequently enough to give interventions a chance to work, but also ensuring that not too much time goes by.
Hi, I'm Karen Socker. At each meeting, we're looking at data, both qualitative and quantitative, across each grade level. In reading, that means we're looking at FMPs, phonics, and sight words. In math, that's more of a struggle for us. And a PLC goal at Park Road this year is that each grade level identifies what they want to monitor in math. We started this past spring using the end of the year benchmarks that the Math Steering Committee and teacher groups developed. And depending on grade level and need, we're looking at the math cluster assessments, math fluency checks, and other standardized math standards assessments. An important part of this process is our win time, what students need. This is a block of time where reading specialists, math lab, and instructional challenge are all available, in addition to classroom teachers to support students. While WIN looks a little different at each grade level, our goal for this block is to ensure that all students get instructions that benefit them.
And at first grade, what this can look like in my classroom, for example, I have during my WIN time, I have 8 of my kiddos who are out of my room getting the reading support from the reading specialist they need. 2 of my kiddos are in their DPP classroom where they're getting their needs met by their DPP teacher. I have 3 kiddos twice a week who are with their instructional challenge teacher for enrichment, which leaves me with 10 at grade level kiddos where I'm able to really focus in. And one of the things I've been working a lot with them is writing conferencing, which is so difficult when there's 23 6-year-olds in the room, but I can really focus on it with just those 10, and I know that the rest of the students are having their needs met.
And in second grade, we have our win time in 2 different areas. We have a math win time and we have an ELA win time. The ELA win time, we have the benefit of having a therapy dog to come, and the kids can build fluency and read to the dog, which they absolutely love. And then in our math win time, we can differentiate within groups and really focus on targeted goals.
And at each grade level, we meet regularly to discuss our students, our curriculum, and our assessments. And in first grade this year, our goal we focused on for our math goal is to continuation with the math fluency facts that we started last year, to continue with that. But we've also chosen to add on word problems with our first graders in creating quality word problems, as well as developing strategies that we know will benefit them to help solve those word problems.
And in second grade, in the math win area, one of the things that our PLT really worked on is developing, there's exemplars, and so we're incorporating the exemplars with the math lab para so that we can focus on students that are struggling with some of the concepts. We can really hone in on those, and our math lab para is able to differentiate and really stretch those math skills for those that really understand the concepts.
Hi, I'm Angie Stewart and I teach second grade. I'm also a member of our Social Emotional Learning Committee. And so our goals this year are to create a safe and respectful learning environment for our students, and also to develop consistent language with our students so that we can continue to strengthen our home and community connection. So we're using a lot of strategies to support this work. At the beginning of the year, we had an opening assembly where several of our staff members acted out in a skit of The Big Bad Wolf and The Three Little Pigs. And through this work, our students learned what it means to be your best self and to do your best work. Following the assembly, Dr. Balsamo and Mrs. Healy went into each of our classrooms and talked with students about school-wide expectations, as well as checked in with our classroom compacts, which are unique to each of our classrooms, and we really have involved students in the creation of these expectations for our classroom. Through SEL and ILT, we identified mindfulness as an area for professional development this year. And so part of our work on Superintendent's Conference Day and also our October staff meeting were devoted to learning research behind mindfulness, as well as strategies for both students and for staff in order to continue to create that positive learning environment. So on Superintendent's Conference Day, our staff rotated through a variety of different centers for mindfulness work. One of the centers was on mindful movements, which is learning how to use yoga and some other stretches to take breaks, as well as self-regulation breathing strategies. One center was a book study that had children's literature as well as professional resources. And finally, there was a center on technology apps and resources to support mindfulness work in the classroom. And so many of us are teaching mindfulness to our students. They're learning what it means to be mindful thinkers, mindful speakers. They're using mindful movement breaks, and several of us have calm corners in our classrooms. And this is a space where our students can go to practice those self-regulation skills and breathing strategies, and then come back to the whole group when they're ready to learn. And our staff are continuing our professional development to learn ways to take breaks in order to best meet the needs of our students.
Hi, my name is Tammy Houlihan. I'm the librarian at Park Road. Last year we started a program called Library Olympics at Park Road to promote school-wide reading. And in the program, each month has a different theme related to books, reading, or the library. And this year we've examined those themes and tried to connect them to our work around mindfulness and inclusivity. So our first challenge this year in October focused on the concept of walking a mile in someone else's shoes. Students were challenged to read a book about a realistic character who was different from themselves, so maybe they celebrate different holidays or they live in a different part of the world. And then they were asked to reflect on both the differences and similarities they shared with the character. Another example of one of our Library Olympics challenges for this year is what we've selected for February, which is Black History Month. And although we recognize that it's very important to not just focus on special months like Black History Month or Autism Awareness Month, but to integrate diversity throughout our Library Olympics Challenge, there is this wonderful book that we plan to use in February called 28 Days. So there's a page for each day of the month that recognizes an important person or event from Black history. And so students will be asked to pick a page and learn more about that event or person. This year we're also starting a book of the season at Park Road. We've selected 4 books that we'll read, 1 per season. So every classroom will read the same book during the same week. So every student will hear the same book at the same time. And this will help us reinforce themes our school has chosen to focus on for the year, promote common language, and bring us together as a school community. And we just kicked off the program a week or 2 ago with We're All Wonders, the first picture book up there. which is a wonderful book about celebrating differences and being kind to one another. So teachers share the book with students in their class, and then with this particular book, students will be able to take the book home one at a time from now through February break, so that we're kind of connecting school and home and those themes of kindness and acceptance. Going along with this, with We're All Wonders and our theme of kindness, we've created a wall of kindness at Park Road, where staff and parents and students will place Post-its recognizing acts of kindness or providing inspirational kindness quotes. Each classroom's also come up with a kindness challenge that they've submitted. So every morning a different kindness challenge is read over our school announcements. And as an example, we had a great one that came from Mrs. Soccer's class, where students were asked to write a note to an adult in the school thanking them, or telling them why they appreciate them. So that was a great one. Park Road has also started a Best Buddies chapter this year. Along with Thornell, we're the first 2 elementary schools in the state to have chapters. The idea of the program is to strengthen connections and friendships between students with the goal of promoting a more inclusive environment for students with disabilities. And the program is actually very popular at Park Road. We have over 110 students involved and over 15 staff members working to support and facilitate. We held our first meeting in November. Students did an ice-breaking activity, and then they wrote about, they wrote, drew, or shared something about someone they're thankful for. And as we move forward, we're working to create activities that increase these opportunities for positive social interactions, and we're hoping also to integrate the concept of giving back in our community.
Something else we started this year as a lunchtime option is something we're calling Running Feet. And this is an optional recess alternative which provides students with the option of doing some running and earning running feet as a result. It's provided students who might struggle to join a group with a recess alternative. It also helps to burn a little energy prior to classes in the afternoon. I know Mrs. Pink has thanked me a number of times for Running Feet and has asked, can we do it every day? We plan to have both a fall and a spring season, weather dependent, and we just wrapped up our fall season. And we've been running this program about twice a week since October. At Park Road, we are also continuing to look at ways to bring the Pittsford Central School District mission alive, particularly reinforcing with students how they can make a difference in the lives of others. So far this year, we have supported the donation of 400 books to School 50 through our book exchange, participated in the Jump Rope for Heart, collected food and candy after Halloween for the Pittsford Food Cupboard, and our student council started an initiative to support those impacted by the hurricane in Puerto Rico. Our student council students are also actively involved in identifying ways to support and help others in our school community, and they organize events like our roller skating that occurs on a monthly basis. An exemplar of this dedication to community service is a Park Road student by the name of Maya Bastianelli, who was recognized earlier this month countywide for her support and service to our community, receiving the Outstanding Youth in Philanthropy Award. To date, she's raised over $16,000 to support Daystar. We are continuing traditions like our back-to-school family picnic, our family fun night, scholastic book fair, and Halloween parade that brings us together as a school community, while also starting new traditions such as the Halloween performance that our 5th graders did for all of our younger students following the Halloween parade.
Hi, I'm Allison Kimmer, and I'm also a 1st grade teacher at Park Road, as well as the technology chair for our building. And I wanted to share with you the work we're doing around our 3rd goal, which is focused on technology implementation and the incorporation of 21st century learning skills. In our previous school year, we worked to identify our technology competencies that were vertically aligned in our grade levels to promote consistency throughout the grades and to ensure all of our students have the same skill set when they leave us after 5th grade. These range from learning how to log on and off in kindergarten, to typing and editing in Word, a 1 paragraph in 3rd grade, to using PowerPoint and the internet as a resource in 5th grade. A big component of our technology competencies is focused on ensuring that students are proficient in typing and word processing. Our goal is that our 5th graders leave us being able to type 15 words per minute at 90% accuracy, while being able to use proper word processing techniques and to produce a fully edited, spell-checked, finished piece. to get there requires us addressing these skills at first grade as well. So we start them early on their keywording skills. To add fun and challenge to this work, this year we instituted a typing challenge for our 3rd through 5th graders. And this encouraged a little class versus class and rivalry in our school, and it was great to see that in our kids. They looked for the announcements each week to see who was leading the challenge, and our hope that the students at these grade levels, between home and school, will get on our typing program called Typing Pals 2 times a week for 20 minutes. Last spring, we had the opportunity to have Brian Yanish, a Park Road alum and author of Junk Rethunk, speak to our students about recycling and ways that they can repurpose junk for different things. His work with our students on this day was to use junk to create different prototypes to solve problems. We were amazed at the level of excitement we saw in our students and just to create it. So with this, we decided to continue this year to promote that creativity, and many of us are integrating STEAM challenges in our classroom. In 1st grade, we do monthly STEAM challenges, and we are incorporating literacy into this as well. For example, in September, we read 10 apples up on top to our students, and then we challenged them to build a structure using 30 wooden cubes and 10 craft sticks that would hold an apple without toppling. So we saw a lot of creativity and communication with our students. There was critical thinking, and it was great to see that in their little minds and getting them to work. In 3rd grade, they also have incorporated STEAM bins into their classrooms, where students choose a bin and a picture of a project to build, such as a tent, a maze, or a tunnel, and they use the materials that are in that bin to create that, and then they take a picture of it, and later on they answer a writing prompt to how they built it, what challenges they faced in that. So we're trying to keep that alive in our classrooms. We are also continuing to be involved in the Hour of Code, which will kick off next week. We are going to have a guest speaker, Charles Prophet, in our building, and he's going to talk to our kids about what he does with coding and how he's involved with our robotics club at the high school. And he's going to be introducing students to that career and the work around coding and let them see examples of what students are doing at the high school as well. Students will then, over the course of the week, have the opportunity to engage in code writing at school and hopefully at home as well.
Coming soon, thanks to a gift from our Park Road PTSA, we're also going to be creating a makerspace in the library consisting initially of something called Little Bits. And Little Bits fit perfectly into our STEAM initiatives that Allison just talked about. Little Bits are basically electronic building blocks that allow students to invent anything from their own remote controlled cars to smart home devices. The bits snap together with magnets, you don't need to wire or program them. And so our goal is to allow students to continue to engage in the types of STEAM experiences that they're getting in the classroom, but this time maybe during free opportunities in the library or as they have free time in their school schedules.
So thank you for the opportunity to allow us to present to you tonight about all the work that's going on in Park Road this year and all that we plan to do. So thank you, and if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer on any of the different initiatives we spoke to this evening.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you.
We
Thank you very
appreciate your
much.
time. And everyone else, thank you.
Yeah, thanks to our wonderful Park Road team for coming out tonight.